We are being joined in by Mr. Adrian Mars, who's a tech journalist and also a broadcaster. Now, Mr. Mars, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. The question that I want to ask you is this. Elon Musk has announced that he would want to reinstate all Twitter accounts that have not broken a law or have indulged in spam in the past. But what is interesting is that he's also, resorting to these public polls on his Twitter account with his followers, asking them whether he should reinstate these accounts or not. Do you think this is the right approach for him to go about doing this?
I think it's going to be disastrous. His followers are far from representative of even Twitter users, let alone humanity in general. I think he's going to scare away the advertisers. I think he's going to fall foul of particularly European regulations. So the UK's Online Safety Bill and the European Union's Digital Services Act both set very, very heavy penalties. The Europeans Act actually has just come into force as a proportion of the company's turnover, which maybe he's reducing those penalties as he's reducing its turnover. Right. And it seems the users, I think, will leave. Nobody wants Twitter to be a toxic, unpleasant place to be. So at least these short-term moves, it's hard to see how they can benefit Twitter. He's previously said that he's doing this to try to benefit humanity, and the reason he acquired Twitter was because it's important, he said, for the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence. But unfortunately, I think we're going to see far-right neo-Nazi groups on there who will be advocating violence. Maybe they'll be banned again. Who knows?
Right.
It's
interesting in terms of how Elon Musk has been going about it. And you mentioned that this may now result in Twitter turning into a tech space which is very, very toxic. Now, Elon Musk, for his part, says that earlier his idea was to, in fact, have a content moderation council which would be put in place and then to take a decision on whether some of these controversial accounts have to be reinstated or not. But now he says, because a lot of people have in fact been urging advertisers to not advertise on Twitter, that means he would now want to get these people to be back on Twitter, probably for a whole host of different variety of reasons. But some say this is, of course, just one way of being controversial to stay in the news.
Well, it's hard to say what's going through Elon Musk's head. I don't think personally, he does it to be controversial. I think he does it because he's a billionaire who has the power to do things, and it may be undemocratic, but he's doing what he wants to do. It's what he says is often at odds with what he does. So it's very hard to see, for example, with his motivations, how it fits in with providing the world a platform. For one thing, he's brought in a charge for having the blue tick, the certification that you are previously a certification that you were somebody reasonably prominent in the public in the public arena, and that you were you. It was a way of verifying accounts, stop spoof accounts. Now he's turned it into a system where if you users who haven't paid, their tweets basically will be demoted. They won't be seen. They won't go to the top of the list. And the charge is about $8 a month. Now, that's going to exclude an enormous proportion of the world from being heard, particularly in places where Twitter previously, partly because of its anonymity, did very well. So people calling out human rights abuses, or anywhere under authoritarian regimes, particularly, where it was difficult to get news out safely. So though all of those, unless they pay, and in these are low-income countries, their voices won't be heard. So it's hard to see how any of these moves are really going to benefit Twitter, especially as it's now only got a quarter of its staff running this. So reports from inside Twitter, which are always difficult to interpret, paint a picture of a company, an engineering department, a moderation department in crisis, and whether Twitter will be able to carry on, whether it'll keep working without falling apart, with 3/4 of its staff gone, or obey. It's got rid of its Brussels office just recently, which was very much responsible following regulations. They've said that they will, and it's not a problem. But without these sort of crucial staff, we will see.
Absolutely, indeed. That, of course, remains to be seen, Mr. Mars, because it's difficult to predict as to how all of this, of course, goes. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those insights. We're completely short of time. So thank you very much indeed for joining us, Mr. Mars. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.